So we have two tropical systems in the Atlantic Basin, one really in the Gulf of Mexico, but both of them we've been watching closely. And Marco is going to be the one that's going to be making its landfall a lot sooner than Laura, so they won't be happening simultaneously, but still the timing that one storm is in that region and another one is following suit is going to be really close, and it's eventually going to affect our weather, but that's not likely until later on into the upcoming week. I wanted to give you a little video and an update on what's going on with these storm systems. Marco in the central Gulf of Mexico right now, Laura also south of Cuba, heading towards the Gulf of Mexico. Marco is a hurricane with 75-mile-an-hour winds. It's a Category 1 hurricane. This storm is going to curve up towards areas in Louisiana and brush along the coastline of Louisiana. So landfall may be Tuesday morning, but it's kind of hard to tell with the path that it's advertised to take right now. But as it does skirt across the coastline, it is going to be getting weaker, and it will be getting weak fast. So it doesn't look likely that the storm is going to stay strong as it goes along the coastline, but they'll still see some heavy rain and some wind with that. Now, Laura, still a tropical storm. It has 60-mile-an-hour winds. As the storm moves across Cuba, it doesn't really strengthen that much. Once it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, it really starts to get strong. It's a Cat 1 hurricane Wednesday morning at 1 a.m. By Wednesday afternoon, it's a Category 2 hurricane. By Wednesday night, it's making landfall between Houston and New Orleans, and the storm continues that path into the United States, fading away once it gets close to Kentucky and also into Tennessee. So that storm system follows a little bit more of a normal path into the United States and kind of fading away, but we'll watch and see how that kind of pans out and moves into our area. I'll show you that in just a little bit. We have two storm systems again in that area, and it's going to be a really busy first half of the week. First of all, of course, Marco goes along the coastline, and then Laura is racing up from the south. As they come together, which by this point, once again, Wednesday evening, Marco will pretty much be non-existent, but there still will be a lot of rainfall in the area and also just a little bit of energy left from that storm system. Remember, this storm is moving across the coastline Tuesday, and then 24 hours later, essentially, here comes Laura as a Category 2 hurricane. So it's going to be back-to-back. That's going to be looking likely towards Lake Charles is the area that could see that. Now, an indirect impact. I think you should fill up your gas tanks in your car because look at all of the active gas and oil sites that are around the Gulf of Mexico near Louisiana. A lot of them. Those are all the green squares that we see on the map. Now, one storm, Marco goes through a good chunk of them, and then Laura passes through another chunk of them. So the majority of the oil and gas sites are going to be disturbed, maybe shut down. I don't know exactly how that's going to change our gas prices. That's not my job. I just talk about the winds and the clouds, but just a little FYI, there's going to be an impact probably with that too. Now, let's talk about what Laura does as the storm moves into the region. It moves through Tennessee Friday, and then by next weekend, the model here, this is the European model, suggests that the storm could bring some rain into the area and probably some wind too. Now, at this point, if the storm is in this position, while there still may be some wind, it's kind of hard to tell how fast the wind would be. The wind is generally flowing with how these arrows are being drawn here. It's flowing like this, so we have an offshore wind. So as long as the storm passes us to the north, we're going to see an offshore wind. We won't have any problem with the tides. If the wind is from the opposite direction, yeah, we'll get more surf, we'll get bigger waves, rip current threat. I don't believe the tides would be a big issue because the storm at this point should be moving fast enough where it's really only affecting us for about a half a day, so it'll move out. But that's one thing that we're looking forward to next weekend. We could see that. A lot of clouds across our area, just kind of showing you a little local forecast here before we end this. We'll see a lot of clouds for our Monday, but not seeing a lot of rain. Maybe a few stray showers pop up in the afternoon into North Carolina, but it looks like tomorrow we'll see a lot of clouds across our area. We should be looking at a dry week. With all the bad weather happening in the Gulf of Mexico, those are the areas of low pressure, and in our area, we have generally higher pressure, and that'll result in more of a stable atmosphere. That's what we have going on for the next couple of days. Of course, I'm going to be keeping an eye on the tropics and the Gulf of Mexico. Hopefully everyone down there stays safe, and we should be having a quiet week here. Enjoy your evening, everybody, and I'll see you next time.